Welcome to You Can Talk to Me, a Beatles podcast. It's time to make our way across the universe and talk all things John, Paul, George and Ringo.
Well, Alex Lloyd, welcome along to the podcast. It's a great honour to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, mate.
I know music's been in your life for a long time and it entered your life at a very young age. And I know musically for you, there's a lot going on right now with national tours, new material, and we'll certainly get to that during our time together. But I'm just curious, do you have a recollection of your earliest music memory and why it mattered to you?
Yeah, well, weirdly enough, it was a Beatles thing. My father, my parents divorced when I was very young, and one thing that we used to do on the weekends with Dad was like sit around the Beatles songbook and play or sing. Well, he would play the guitar. He had this guitar that was it had such a high action that it would make your fingers bleed. But, he played the chords. He was in a band before he became a journalist. And, he sort of introduced us to singing and the joy of that, when it was all Beatles songs, to be honest.
Was there music in the house in terms of vinyl? Were you hearing
we
what
had
being
shit
played?
tons of vinyl, yeah. And I discovered that later, though, like in my early teens, at high school, when other people would suggest music. And, weirdly, like a guy called Chris Marshall, who's actually known as C.W. Stone King.
Yeah.
We were in high school together, and he grew up in Balmain as well. And he introduced me to Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin and stuff. And then I went home and I looked through my parents' record collection, and lo and behold, it was all there.
Yeah.
I was quite lucky. So then I spent a lot of time with the headphones, listening to vinyl, basically.
I don't know if you can consciously sort of recall this, but do you have a sense of how the songwriting craft of Lennon, McCartney and even Harrison informed your own craft?
They're a big part of the puzzle as far as the beginnings of writing music and popular music, and the idea of putting together crafting songs. I think their intentions weren't their intentions originally to write musicals, to be
like Rodgers and Hammerstein, Lennon and McCartney.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's what you would have aspired to as a young boy in that time, right?
Yeah.
My aspirations were different, but and then it just became a form of expression, and now I don't care about someone else's rules.
There you go. Yeah.
I just do what I do, and I'm confident in what I do.
Yeah. Has that not always been the case though for some years?
Oh no, it has, but I think part of it was you fake it a bit till you make it.
Sure.
And I don't really care if I make it or not anymore. Yeah. I just do what I do. And I write from my heart, and I don't know where it comes from, to be honest. Sometimes I don't have no idea.
Yeah, I remember Paul once describing when he was asked a similar question, I almost don't want to know where it comes from. Like he said, I think it's like a ghost behind you that's giving you this information, and you don't want to turn around and look at the ghost because it might vanish and not come back.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I think there's a similar analogy with all songwriters.
Yeah.
When you feel you got something special, you feel as though you've been given a gift. And I think almost there's a sort of a thing is not believing your own hype.
Yes.
But something special is something special. It's undeniable. But to see it is another thing altogether.
You came out of the gates with a stunning debut that to this day held in high regard. But over the years, it's an incredible catalogue of work. What do you see as the evolution of your process? Has it changed over time, or do you find yourself it is picking up the guitar, finding chords that sit together, and words come later? I'm just curious about how you process.
There's no set rule. My favourite song of recent time is The Echoes of Home, and that is the first song I wrote in a long time for a drought period, where I felt like I'd done something extremely, exceptional. And I didn't write the piano, someone else did, and I just sang on top of it. But all this stuff came out of me really freely. and nothing was altered that much, from what I did originally. And then I put a song out after that called "Sorry," and that is a song of just like literally, it's an iPhone recording.
Hmm.
Because the way I did it the first time, I couldn't better it in the studio.
That's great.
Even the birds in the background in the garden.
Yeah, fantastic.
So it just ended up being what it is, and I think George, who kind of put it together with me, and he also was a big integral part of Echoes. He's a DJ, I think, known as a DJ. But we just hooked up in Melbourne and then sort of did this kind of few projects together. He sort of put some strings or some sort of samples on top, and it just worked. I was happy with it. It was ready.
And are these releases, are these precursors to a full album later in the year?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if it will be an album of that material, or I kind of got this whole soul thing going on at the moment as well, which is, I really don't know. I mean, I think what I love about now and the era that we're in is that it's just kind of anything goes.
Yeah.
And it's just picked up if it's picked up, and some things will work and some things won't.
Yeah, no, that's a wonderful attitude to have with it. I remember my brother turning me on to Mother Hubbard back in the day, and saying he's a player, a musician, and I remember him saying to me, "You got to listen to these guys." And I'm like, wow, what the hell is this? And as quickly as I was becoming aware of them, it felt like you were suddenly out doing your thing as you, and this shift had happened. I'm just curious, from a musician's perspective, when you kind of leave that cohort of a group and you've got that energy and that synergy.
Well, I didn't lead them. We always thought about that.
Right. Okay.
No, that was very much a collective, but I was probably the most prolific person as far as writing, just because I had a lot to say, and I don't know, I've always had a lot to say.
Yeah.
And I think that was an issue in that band, because everyone wanted to have an equal share, and the motives weren't. I don't know. Everyone was doing what they did at the time. It's not like I'm judging people or anything.
Yeah.
But I found it a little bit stifling in the end because they didn't really like Black the Sun.
Wow.
I wrote that song and I took it to the band and they didn't like it.
Huh.
And I thought it was the best thing I'd ever done. So I just went off, and not the album, I'm talking about the song, because that song was written and that album was done out of necessity. It wasn't done because I thought it would be good at the time. It was like I could not make it.
That almost sounds like George having to get All Things Must Pass out and the band not listening when he's playing those songs in the Let It Be Get Back sessions.
But it'd be fucking hard though if you were Paul McCartney or John Lennon, who are known as the greatest songwriters in the world, to listen to George Harrison and go, yeah, whatever. And then George, being fucking supremely gifted and such a beautiful, genuine soul in the world.
Yeah.
Having to deal with their fucking ego.
Yeah.
At the time, I'm saying, like, I'm sure now it would be all fucking cool and everyone would say, let's do it. Let's make a record. But it's at the time. Everyone is what they are at that time. I don't think you can judge people for that. But yeah, I think God, I love that documentary about George Harrison. It's a beautiful documentary.
Oh, Living in the Material World, Scorsese.
Yeah, Scorsese. But Steve Giles, my mate, was doing that.
Of course.
I was so privileged at that time living in London.
Yeah,
being
I
able
bet.
to go into Abbey Road. I'll tell you the best experience of my lifetime.
Please.
I'm a huge off the wall fan. Right?
Sure.
We digress to Michael Jackson or progress.
Yeah.
And there was this moment where, because Giles had just done that Love record, and the remixes of the Beatles.
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, and it's kind of this big Vegas show, and then Jackson Estate came to him and asked him, like, would you look at this stuff, Because I love Quincy Jones. He's my best producer, one of my favourite producers. And, string arranger, horn arranger, band conductor. Yeah, so I got to go in the studio. I was like, it wasn't even. He was just giving me a lift to tennis, because we played doubles every
Right.
Thursday,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just came in there, and then he's had all the multi tracks of like Billie Jean.
Come
It's
on.
just like one of my favorite tracks of all time.
Timeless, yeah.
It was like I was in an episode of like classic albums or something, like.
Yeah, of course.
It's quite funny because Giles speaks very much like his father, so it was like being in an episode of classic records.
Yeah. Did you ever get a sense from him that he knew, and he obviously hasn't been overwhelmed by it, that he was aware of the weight on his shoulders of
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
he's told me some stories like when he was like 15, and I don't even know if I should say this stuff.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, don't feel like you have
But
to.
just
Yeah.
like but just like his old man, like he showed his dad a song, like and
Yeah.
his dad went, "Well, it's a 12-bar blues."
Oh, there you go.
And that's sort of like the weight. But then you wouldn't realize that at the time, I don't
No.
think. But then later, but he's done very well. Like he did kind of inherit this position as his sort of gatekeeper, and he's done a really good job.
I agree. I think
So he should be. I'll give you a big hug if you ever hear this, Charles. Like it's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. I remember hearing the deluxe edition of Sergeant Pepper's, and I spent hours with that on the cans.
Yeah.
And it's magical. It's really it's superb, and everything breathes. The space.
Like I've got all these programs with all this Abbey Road gear, like the Waves make, which is an Israeli plug-in company, right?
Yeah,
they make, these amazing effects that very much mimic the original.
Sure.
You can say, oh, well, it doesn't have the vowels and everything, but then you can put it through that if you want to at the end. So usually just applying more noise, but the saturators and the tape delays and things like that. So I remastered my son's version the other day.
Wow.
You can't not make a good song sound bad,
Hey, that's a great line. Yeah. In 2003, there's a release from you with Golden Slumbers, and the vocals are beautiful. You really do make it your own. And I think that's a wonderful example of McCartney's knack for melodic structure with that particular piece.
That's not an easy song to sing either.
No, not at all. And
it's weird because I sing it like his demo version.
Huh.
I like his nuance in the end when the way he pulls off the note.
Right.
And that's what grabbed me about that song was when I heard, did you see Let It Be, the Peter Jackson
Of
film?
course, yeah, Get Back.
Get Back, sorry. Yeah. One of them.
one of the many titles. Yeah.
I'm a bit flippant with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I apologise to
Not at all.
avid Beatles. It's not that. It's just that I've got dyslexia and Tourette's at the same time. So it's just what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I love that because I saw, you always kind of got this bad impression of Paul McCartney, and then you see that he's the driver at that stage.
Absolutely.
Like he's driving this. Let's make this record.
Yeah. His entire genius is on display in that. I think it's 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
He's cranking out tracks that are going to come off solo albums. He's doing. There's a beautiful little piece there on the piano with Martha, My Dear. You can't come away. You cannot come away from that film and not see his genius and the fact that he's the glue for all of that band at that time. Yeah.
But you can't not have the rock star, which is John. He's a rock star, and you need the rock star.
Right.
Like I reckon that's what it made In Excess. What they are is Hutchins. He's a fucking rock star. He's probably one of the greatest ever, and he's an Aussie.
It's funny, I wouldn't have appreciated what you just said as much had I not only last week watched the Richard Lowenstein documentary Mystify.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's on Netflix, and I went to it casually interested. I couldn't take my eyes off it, and I got a whole new level of respect and understanding of how important he was.
His poetry is really beautiful,
and the fact that he was all about true artistry and less about pop sensation. So. I highly recommend that doc if you get an opportunity.
Oh yeah. No, I think he's a special person. Like he had a enigmatic character and a magnetism that you just can't deny. Like and I think it was the world over. Like he was one of the greats. To be honest. He
And,
was a
in,
Sinatra of the time.
and he was a singular character. If you look back through even Australian popular music history, he's a singular figure.
Yeah.
There's no one quite like that.
There isn't. I can't see that in the world. I reckon that's the world over, mate.
When we're talking about melodic structure, again, with your body of work, you clearly have an ear for that in terms of how songs are formed and built essentially. Is there a particular song, and I know there's a lot there, but if you had to answer it today, is there one particular song for you that if you had to call it, you could remember feeling really good about its birth and its form before its final release that you just thought, you know
Well,
what?
probably Black the Sun.
There you are. Yeah.
Like there was nothing wrong with that. The whole journey of that was pretty good. Um,
What's
yeah, I can
special
tell you
about
the
that?
worst song that I
Oh, yeah.
love.
No, please.
Because this is the only thing I've really given thought to
Sure.
in my body of work. There's a song called Desert, right, on
Right.
Black the Sun.
Yeah.
And it's like the old drunk man who wants to like that's my whole life summed up to that point.
Right.
And there's a narrative in the like a narrated version in the bridge of that song. And it just everything in that song. It was such a hard song to record.
Sure.
And then I hated it. I fucking hated it so much. But I had to put it down, and it stayed on the record. And I thought I'd been pedestrian in the chorus, and I was very critical of myself in that song. And this is in a time when you used to have to go and using a Studer tape machine, 24 track. You had to align the tone in the morning, before you started. And it was like a screwdriver on a fucking distributed machine. It's
Right.
like Trent Williamson, his name was. He's an engineer / co-producer of Black the Sun.
Yeah.
For some part of it, because it was a big project. It took a while, and only to my own, like, because I was trying to understand it at the same time.
Yeah.
I was new to it. But it was just very much. It was just one of those songs that, like, just I've thought about a lot since I made it,
Right.
because I hated it so much, but I
Yeah.
loved it at the same time.
Yeah.
And then it does actually tell my story in a weird way.
And there's a question here that I know can change on any given day, but if you had to call it, could you tell me what would you say your top 4 favorite Beatles tracks today, and what are the reasons for that? Why do they, from a musician's perspective, what would they
Fuck,
be?
that's such a thought process.
Yeah, I know. I'm just curious if you just went with gut instinct, a top 4.
My life. I'm looking through you.
Yeah. You're in Rubber Soul.
Eleanor Rigby just for the string arrangement.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, Rubber Soul is one of my favourite albums. I love Her Majesty as well. I think that's a beautiful song.
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
Oh, I love that song.
Even when he's throwing it away, he can't help but have a touch of genius in it.
No, I don't think it's throwing anything away. I think it's like fucking just beautiful melody.
Yeah, I've never heard. That's fascinating. You mentioned In My Life. Again, we're going back to 65 Beatles.
Yeah, I mean, it's forward thinking.
Yeah, there's yes, this. So
There is a sense of like in the old rhetoric, there is a sense of beauty and love and family and belonging. And what is love really? It's belonging.
Huh.
It's feeling like you're needed and you're wanted.
Yeah, well said. It has been an incredible ride for you musically, and you've been throughout your journey, very honest and open along the way. And I think,
Well, why not? What's the point of fucking keeping it all inside?
I agree, and I think that authenticity is part of the appeal in the love for you, and that radiates through the music.
I started in blues, so like I started at the birth of it, but like as far as like my education,
Yeah.
the Beatles were what. And at the time, like the guys I was playing with, they wanted to stay pure to blues. They didn't want me to write new songs. So it was hard for me to do that. So I looked up to those guys, So
Yeah.
They paved the way for me, the Beatles.
Yeah, it's just in the bones.
I think they paved the way for all of us, quite frankly. But But there is an era of beauty but I discovered later. So I guess I put them first historically, but really, you can go back to the guys who wrote all Sinatra's tunes, and then the Ella Fitzgerald and the Nina Simone's and da da da.
Yeah, of course. I heard you at a gig once, put it out to the audience. You're in a relaxed mood, and you said, "What would you like to hear?" And people yelling out at you, and I can't recall the track now, but a lady at the back of the room called out a deep cut, and you took a moment, found the chords, and away you went. And again, I was just reminded of the power of music. That once it's out, it's almost not yours anymore, is it? It almost
No, it's not yours. It's
yeah,
not yours. And then I think I respected that more when I was younger than I do now, because people ask me, and then I give them the explanation.
yeah,
I think I'm just old and silly, but I don't know. We're young and silly as well. So, I mean, look, it's a constant proliferation.
yeah. I don't often read people talking about your vocals, and it's one of those great Australian voices. I've heard you do Hallelujah a few times live, and it's sublime. Where did the inspiration for you come as we get to the end here? I'm just curious did you have vocal inspiration at any point along your journey that you could
Oh,
pinpoint?
no, that's just from my heart.
Yeah, right.
But sometimes it's not always perfect. It's me giving
Yeah.
because I feel the love.
Huh.
And,
Yeah.
and I'm just, I worked at my vocal. I didn't sing great all my career. Like, every TV performance isn't great.
Mm-hmm.
There's some bad ones out there. But what I didn't realize is that then sometimes fragility is better than precision.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And with Black the Sun, I watched the thing with Black the Sun in the UK. I did this Jules Holland,
Mm-hmm.
and I do Mystery Train that same night, right?
Yeah.
I looked like Elvis that night.
Yeah.
It was bizarre.
Yeah. I've seen the footage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I look like a young Elvis. I fucking I spin out on that shit. Anyway, I look at that and I go, wow, I got to do a song with Jules. I mean, he's cool for cats.
Yeah. How good.
Squeeze. But I didn't know that till later. I didn't know him before. I was just singing that song, and he walked past my dressing room, and he goes, "Oh, do you want to sing it with me?" Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, my record company at the time over in the UK was like, "Yeah, you got to do it,"
Yeah. What a journey.
But yeah, I mean, I think with giving and singing, it's just you do it because you feel it.
Yeah. Going forward with the year ahead, can you tell us a little bit about the tour and where best for people to find you, check out dates and get out
Probably
there?
like a Linktree. It's like ALXLLYD. I took out the vowels. Don't ask me why. That's where all the dates are. Or I think you can actually just go alexlloyd.com and it gets you there. But
Perfect. You still enjoy the road?
I love the road.
What is it about it?
My kids started ignoring me. I don't want to stay home anymore. I'm just being facetious. But,
Of course.
there's some truth in that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because they get to a certain age and they just want to do their thing.
Of course.
They're beautiful. They're lovely, and I love them.
Yeah. Well, they're the greatest achievement we can make in the world while we're here, right?
Well, maybe. Let's see. I'm sure he's out.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Well, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll be long gone. But
Man.
they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And we do our best, don't we?
Yeah, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Mate, it's been a wonderful opportunity for me to sit and talk with you. And
It's lovely,
again,
Mike. I do know you and remember you, and I see you on the socials and that. And thank you very much.
No, I appreciate your time, mate, and your insights. And God bless for everything still ahead of you. And good luck with what I know is going to be a big year on the road and doing shows and spreading the joy and love as you do.
Yeah, it's fun, man. And, I think what I love is looking out and seeing people laughing and crying and talking and just enjoying the night, and the moment. And it's their moment. It's not mine.
You got it, man. And it's a peerless body of work. So congratulations and best wishes for everything ahead.
Thank you, bro. Take care.
We hope you enjoyed the show. You know the name, look up the socials. You'll find us on Facebook and Instagram where we can all come together. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe and spread the word. It all helps raise the profile of the You Can Talk to Me podcast. Thanks for listening.